This is AutoMAX, an operation management system which serve different type of businesses or organizations. In this demo, we are going to explain about a system which is specifically used for emergency center, such as fire stations or hospital emergency departments, and all the emergency center. Starting with an overview of the home screen of the system, we call it the metro page. In this page, all the modules in the system are listed based on the user configuration and permission. So as we see, we have the administration, the contact center, the incident management system, escalation, dispatch, workforce management system, maps, locator, and business intelligence. And under each module, we have sub-modules. Starting with the administration. In the administration module, we define and create the users and give permission for the users for different area in the system. And also we create the master data, such as defining the locations, the classifications, and so on. The structure of the system goes as always. On the top part of the page, we have the ribbon bar, which include all the actions button. On the left side, we have the user group in a tree view, and next to it is the users inside the selected group will be displayed here. And on the middle part, we have the user information or user details. So for example, if I select a user, I can see the user information here, the permission given to the user, what is the user allowed to perform inside the system. And as you see in the top, we have the action buttons as activating and lock the system. You can add, edit, delete. We can change the password. Over here, we have the user's permission. So what are the units are allowed for this user? What are the location, the classification, the landmark, and so on. And in the general setting part, we have the buttons to set the classification, to set the different location will be used inside the system. In the second module, the contact center, we have the call log, the email, SMS, faxes, which will be used frequently. In the call log screen, the user can view the history and the log of the outgoing and incoming calls, and also user have the provision to play the record of the calls. All the calls will be recorded since it's an emergency center, so the user can see the information of the call, the number, the time of the call, and the duration, and also can play the record of the call. Same thing goes for the SMS, email, fax, and we have the service log, which include all of the different contact center channel. The log will be displayed in one page in the service log. Next, we have the incident management system, which is the core module of the AutoMAX. In this module, we have 3 submodules, which is the incident management system, the phone directory, and the daily status report. In the incident management system, the agent or the user can receive the emergency or incident calls and dispatch the incidents to a different stations or vehicles, emergency stations or emergency vehicles. I'll explain the structure of the screen. As the administration module, we have the ribbon bar in the top part of the page, which includes the action buttons. On the left side, we have the incident status listed in a tree view. Next to it, we have the incident list. And on the middle part, we have the incident details. Okay. For the agent, in order to receive incident or calls, they have to log in through their extension number, then will be available to receive the incident calls. When the agent receives the calls, the information of the caller would be stored automatically. It will be pulled from a third-party system, which is usually a telecommunication company or a government organization, which can provide such information, the location and the information of the caller. So we'll enter the caller name and we'll enter the classification of the incidents. For example, it's a fire. We'll select the location, and the location of the incident will be stored based on the location of the caller. Then we can save the incidents and view the map to be able to dispatch this incident to the nearest emergency center. So in this screen, we can see on the map the incident location, and we can dispatch it to the nearest emergency center by clicking on the incident, drag it, and drop it on the station. As soon as we drag the incident and drop it on the emergency center or emergency station, we are going to get a live footage of that center, which is being recorded through the CCTV systems, which is integrated to our system. And the person in charge in that center on that location will receive the incident in a tab through the application, and they can navigate to the incident location. Then by clicking on the incident also, you can view the incident information, the ticket number, the status, the classification, the creation date and time, and also the agent has the provision to close the incident and enter the feedback. This is about the incident management system, how you receive the incidents, enter the details of the incidents, and dispatch the incidents. Then we have the escalation module, in which we define the escalation role by defining the user who should receive the escalation and the time of receiving the escalation and the criticality of the incident where they should receive the escalation. We set all these configuration from the organization structure. As I said, here we will define the escalation for the user by selecting, by configuring the location from where this escalation should be received, the classification, the criticality of the incidents, and also the time period or time gap. Next, we have the dispatch module, The dispatch module is used for dispatching the incidents. This module will be used in case there were two user role. One of them is creating the incidents and storing the incident information, and the other user is dispatching the incidents. In this scenario, the incident will be created from the IMS screen, and the dispatching will happen from the dispatch module. An overview of the dispatch screen. We will have all the incident listed here, of course based on the permission of the user. He will be able to display different incidents, and by clicking on the incidents they will get the map to view the location of the incidents, then dispatch it to the nearest station or vehicles. Next, we have the workforce management system, which is rarely used in this case. Under that, we have the basic task, in which the admin can create different tasks for the field operator and assign it to them based on the location and the classification. So from here we can add a new task, put the task name, task information, the start time, and the duration, and after saving it we can assign the task to a different field operator. Next, we have the maps. In the map, we will define a specific landmark for the business use, and it will be displayed in all the maps inside the system. So from one screen, we can configure or add these landmarks, and from the other screen, we'll be displaying the landmarks. So for example, if I click in any location, I can add a landmark and put the landmark name. Last module we are going to talk about is the locator. Under the locator, we have two submodules, which is unit management and live tracking. In unit management, we define all the units and the drivers and the unit kind. And in the other submodule, the live tracking, we can have a live tracking for each vehicles, or we can play the history of the vehicle tracking. As you see in the unit management screen, we can create new vehicles by adding the plate number, the ID, the group, the shifts, and all the basic information. And also we can add driver and assign the drivers to the vehicles. We can add the vehicles under different groups. We will have the vehicle or unit groups, unit kinds, and so on. In the other submodule, the live tracking, we can view a live tracking of the vehicles. We can view a live tracking of the vehicles, or we can play back the history of tracking of the vehicles. Then we have the business intelligence, which includes the reports. For all the transaction or the entry happen in the system, we can have detailed reports.